So what leads you, anybody for that matter, to have leaky gut? How does that happen? Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen within one circumstance that happened to you externally. It doesn't happen just like that. It happens over time. And it's basically what we've done to our own bodies that have caused us to have leaky gut. Because what is leaky gut? It's basically having holes in your gut lining that has microbes, bacteria, pathogens going into these holes, past the gut lining and into the bloodstream, and now are starting to attack the immune system that is not prepared to defend itself because it's way too much going on. So what happens? You get easily sick, you have a foggy brain, you feel tired, you don't feel well, you have a bloated stomach, okay? And other issues can stem from that, from IBS, from having other gut issues that are related to the leaky gut. And what we would want you to do, right, is to close the holes in your leaky gut so that your body, your gut lining, can be closed up, thick. We don't want it thin. The thinner it is, the more easily it will be broken up, right? We want it thick so that the pathogens don't go past the gut lining barrier. We want it thick and healthy, okay? And how do we do that? Well, first, how does someone get there? For me, I can speak for myself. This maybe happened to you too. Over time, days, even years, can cause damage to your gut when you eat certain types of food, medications, antibiotics that can affect the microbiome in your gut for the worse. And over time, it will be broken down, and something could come about like IBS, which is an overgrowth of bad bacteria, right, in the gut. And leaky gut could happen by all these toxins, all these anti-nutrients from vegetables and from nuts that are attacking your gut, that are defense chemicals, aka poison from these plants that are very sensitive to your gut, because depending on what kind of microbiome you have, you may be more sensitive than the last person or the next person of eating certain types of foods. And I believe most people are food sensitive to some food or other, right? We don't live in a utopic world where everyone is just able to eat everything and anything. There's some people who are better off eating gluten while others are feeling not so well on eating gluten, and some who are extremely allergic to gluten. So I was one of them. I was someone that could eat gluten and feel fine. Now that has changed. Especially when I had leaky gut issues, I was sensitive to all foods, you guys. I was allergic to eggs. I was allergic to, cream, white cheese cream. I was allergic to cheese. I was allergic to sardines. I did not do well on those food groups, and they're animal food groups too, right? And I'm a carnivore. But at that time, though, all I could eat was rudimentary meat and beef fat, tallow. That's all I could eat and cook in. And because it was to the point where I abused my gut for so long that I ended up with severe leaky gut and IBS. And that stemmed from me doing antibiotics for a couple of years in my teens to being plant-based for 8 years after that, and accumulation of everything of the high carb, low fat, as well as the history with antibiotics and Accutane led me to the year I had leaky gut. And I don't want that for you. I want you to avoid what I avoided. I want you to avoid the mistakes that I did, right? Like, most people don't realize they have gut issues. Most people think they have a big stomach, a bloated stomach, because they ate too much. That could be true. But if you're bloated hours after you ate your first meal, something's going on. It could be constipation, but it also could mean you have gut issues. And I believe most people have inflammation in their gut. They don't know that they're food sensitive to certain foods. They don't know that maybe they're allergic to certain foods. They don't know maybe they already have severe gut issues, right? And a lot of people think it's visceral fat. It's not. Most of the time, I believe it is a bloated stomach because you have gut problems. You have a microbiome that's off. Maybe you have IBS, right? For me, I knew I had leaky gut because I had symptoms that my health coach told me that matched leaky gut. I was getting sick every 2 months despite eating meat, but I was eating too much sugar. So that's what was feeding the bad colonies in my stomach. That was the problem too, because my body was confused, eating high carb, low fat, being vegan for 8 years. Now I'm eating meat, but I'm eating sugar, a lot of sugar for that matter. It was confused, and even that broke down my gut even further. So that's another story. Leaky gut, the whole point of this video is that leaky gut doesn't happen overnight. It's always what you're ingesting over days, months, and years that led you to this place. So in order for you to get rid of your leaky gut, which is a severe problem, it's a severe problem because now you're food sensitive, which is not normal. Your body should be able to ingest, let's just say, spinach and not feel horrible, right? You want a strong microbiome. Now, I'm not advocating for eating spinach. I think spinach is quite not good for you. But if you got to eat spinach in a meal because someone cooked it for you, like your gut should be able to take it and defend against it, especially the anti-nutrients from spinach. But what I'm saying is you want a strong gut. I have a strong gut now. I don't get sick every 2 months. I don't feel lethargic, bloated. I feel great, okay? That's because, I did the carnivore diet correctly and did that for my leaky gut. And I want that for you, And I want you to understand that leaky gut, what it is, how you got there, and how to get rid of it. Because then you can live life with pleasure and not pain, right? So you can get freedom. So if you want further help in getting away from the pain, I created a free video guide about the 7 mistakes that you are committing to not heal your gut. I placed it down below in the description box, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.